There are about 1.5 billion cows on Earth right now. That's one cow for every 5 people. They live in almost every country on the planet, every continent except Antarctica. And together, they outweigh every wild mammal on Earth. They gave us milk, meat, leather, fuel, fertilizer, labor, light. And somehow, most of us barely notice them. Not really. We notice wolves. We admire horses. We love dogs. We fear sharks. We make documentaries about lions and elephants and killer whales. But the cow became background. It's in your fridge, your shoes, your wallet, your coffee, your burger, your fields, your history, and for some people, even in your DNA. And yet, it's so ordinary now that we almost look through it. That might be the strangest part of the whole story, because the cow may be one of the most important animals that has ever lived beside humans. And we almost never stop to thank it. This is the story of the animal that helped build what we eat, what we wear, how we farm, how we survive, and even what some of our bodies are able to digest. And then it disappeared into its own usefulness. To understand the cow, you have to start with what it used to be. Because 10,000 years ago, there were no cows. There were aurochs. And if you've never heard that word before, picture a wild bull almost 6 feet tall at the shoulder, more than 2,000 pounds, curved horns stretching over 3 feet, fast enough to charge, strong enough to kill, and mean enough that even ancient writers treated it like a monster. This was not the slow, gentle animal behind a fence. This was a wild giant. The aurochs was painted on cave walls. It was hunted by early humans. It was feared by almost everything that came near it. That was the cow's ancestor. That is what we started with. Then, around 10,000 years ago in the Fertile Crescent, humans began doing something dangerous and brilliant. They started keeping a few of these wild animals close, not the most violent ones, not the ones that charged first, the calmer ones, the ones that could be handled, the ones that didn't immediately try to kill you. Generation after generation, people kept breeding the animals that were easier to live with. And slowly, the aurochs changed. The body got smaller, the horns got shorter, the temper softened. The wild animal that once terrified people became the quiet creature standing in a field, chewing grass and waiting to be milked. And the original? It vanished. The last known aurochs, a female, died in a Polish forest in 1627. The wild version was erased from Earth. Only the version we shaped survived. Every cow alive today comes from an animal that no longer exists. And the reason it no longer exists is us. But what we built from that animal changed the human story in ways almost nothing else has. The first great gift of the cow was not meat, it was milk. And milk did something almost no food has ever done. It changed human DNA. Every human baby is born able to digest milk. We have to be. Milk is the first food most of us ever receive. But naturally, that ability is supposed to fade after childhood. The enzyme that breaks down lactose, the sugar in milk, usually slows down once a child no longer needs milk to survive. That is the default human setting. Even today, most adults around the world cannot comfortably digest milk. That's not a defect. That's normal. But thousands of years ago, something changed among people who lived with cattle. A genetic mutation appeared, a small change that kept the milk-digesting enzyme switched on into adulthood. And suddenly, some adults could drink milk their whole lives. That was a huge advantage. Imagine living in a world where crops fail, where drought ruins the harvest, where winter can kill, where food is never guaranteed. Now imagine having an animal that can turn grass, something humans can't eat, into rich, drinkable food every single day, and you don't even have to kill it. That changed everything. People who could digest milk had another food source. They were more likely to survive famine, more likely to have children, more likely to pass that mutation on. Over time, the trait spread across parts of Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. The cow didn't just feed humans, it helped rewrite some of us. Think about that for a second. No dog did that. No horse did that. No chicken did that. The cow reached into the human body and changed what it could do. And most people have never been told that. But milk was only the beginning. Look at everything else the cow gave us. Its meat fed families, cities, armies, and empires. Its hide became leather, boots, belts, saddles, armor, book covers, harnesses, bags, tools. Its bones became fertilizer and handles and materials for everyday life. Its fat became tallow, used in candles and soap. For much of human history, the light burning at night and the soap used in the morning often came from inside a cow. Its dung became fuel. In places where wood was scarce, dried cow dung cooked food and heated homes. And then there was the ox. Before tractors, before engines, before modern machines. There was a castrated bull in a yoke, dragging a plow through soil human hands could never break alone. With human strength, you could farm a garden. With an ox, you could feed a village, maybe a city, maybe an empire. The ox pulled the plow that opened to the soil. The soil grew the grain. The grain fed the people. And when the harvest was done, the cow's waste went back into the field so the whole thing could happen again. That is what the cow really was. Not just an animal, a whole farming system in one body. Milk, meat, leather, bone, fat, fuel, labor, fertilizer, all from the same creature. That's why the cow followed humans almost everywhere we went. Where we settled, cattle settled. Where we built farms, cattle worked beside us. Where we grew civilizations, cattle helped feed them. It is not an exaggeration to say the world we know would look completely different without the cow. And still, we rarely made it a hero. The horse got statues. The dog got love. The lion got symbols. The eagle got flags. The cow got used. There is one major exception, and it matters. In India, the cow is sacred. To many Hindus, the cow is not just an animal or a source of food. It is a symbol of life, patience, generosity, and the earth's ability to give. The cow feeds without needing to die. It gives milk, it gives labor, it gives fuel, it gives fertilizer. So in that tradition, you do not treat the cow as a product, you honor it. And honestly, after hearing the full history, that reaction does not seem strange. It may be the most honest reaction humans have ever had to the cow. The rest of the world just forgot to have it. Because in many places, what we did instead was turn the cow into an industry. Today, there are about 1.5 billion cattle on Earth. Many will never live the slow pasture life people like to imagine. The modern dairy cow has been bred to produce far more milk than a cow would naturally give. Her body pays for it through exhaustion, illness, lameness, infections, and a life often much shorter than it could have been. The modern beef cow is born, fattened, processed, packaged, and sold on a schedule built for efficiency. We took the animal that helped feed civilization and turned it into a production system. So efficient, so normal, so hidden that most of us don't even register what is happening. This is not about telling you what to eat. That's not the point. The point is history. And the history says this. For 10,000 years, the cow gave humans milk that shaped our genes, meat that fed our cities, leather that clothed and carried us, strength that pulled our plows, dung that warmed our homes, and fat that lit our nights. It turned grass into survival. It turned fields into food. It turned hunger into something people could fight back against. The cow may be one of the most generous animals in the history of human life, and we repaid it by making it so common that it became invisible. The Aurochs once stood 6 feet tall and frightened ancient people. We took that wild giant and made it calm, then useful, then ordinary, then forgettable. But it was never nothing. The early cave painters knew that. They painted wild cattle on stone walls long before cities, before farms, before written language. Before we fully understood what this animal would become, something in us already knew it mattered. And it did. It mattered more than we usually admit. The cow helped build the world, and we built almost nothing for it in return. So the next time you pour milk into your coffee, think about what that really means. If your body can digest it as an adult, that ability may exist because thousands of years ago, cattle made milk worth evolving for. You are carrying part of the cow's story inside your own body, not as a metaphor, as biology. The next time you put on leather shoes, eat a burger, pass a field, or see a cow behind a fence, don't look through it. Look at it. Really look. Because that quiet animal standing there is descended from a monster we tamed, an engine we depended on, and a gift we almost forgot. It may be the most important animal you never think about. And now, maybe, you will. If this changed how you see cows, tell me in the comments. When was the last time you actually looked at one and thought about what it gave us? And subscribe, because every animal in this series has a history most people never learned. Some carried empires, some became legends, and this one fed the world, changed our bodies, pulled our fields open, lit our homes, and never got a single thank you.